With brutal consistency, it stifles free thought and crushes new ideas. It disrupts the defense of the United States and places the lives of our men and women in uniform at risk.
After quoting Donald Rumsfeld's remarks about the Pentagon bureaucracy nearly 25 years ago and their continued relevance today, US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, in a speech to defense executives, then made this statement that's received almost no attention.
This is a 1939 moment, or hopefully a 1981 moment, a moment of mounting urgency. Enemies gather, threats grow, you feel it, I feel it.
And if this urgency leads to fixing how the US military fields equipment, then the Trump administration will deserve kudos.
Our objective is simple: transform the entire acquisition system to operate on a wartime footing, to rapidly accelerate the fielding of capabilities and focus on results. Our objective is to build, rebuild, the arsenal of freedom.
The dysfunction, the way the Trump administration sees it, centers on a number of problems, including over-regulation, diffused accountability, and insufficient competition.
Eliminating the layers of bureaucracy means every program, every process, every board, and every review must justify its existence by demonstrating value in a timely manner of capabilities to the warfighter.
The Pentagon essentially wants to make faster and more flexible contracting authorities the default rather than the exception, which is what it's been up until now, and give more priority to the private economy to solve military problems.
It means that we will be open to buying the 85% solution and iterate together over time to achieve the 100% solution. It also means there will be no non-compliant bids.
New defense tech companies are a marvel of American ingenuity, but their success depends on the Pentagon buying their wares at scale and promptly. And the ever-changing nature of war, as illustrated in Ukraine, also demands a more streamlined process when it comes to switching buying strategies as the tech evolves.
We are transforming and reorganizing the existing program executive offices, or PEOs, into portfolio acquisition executives, or PAEs. The acquisition chain of authority will run directly from the program manager to the PAE.
A good example of this is the administration's decision to appoint a single officer to oversee President Trump's Golden Dome missile defense shield.
This is on order of magnitude of the Manhattan Project. It's going to take a concerted effort from the very top of our government. It's going to take a national will to bring all this together. It's going to be a heavy lift across all the organizations that are going to be participating. And what we've got to really push back on are the organizational boundaries and the cultures that are going to try to slow us down or to prevent us from talking together.
Mr. Hegseth conceded that the problem is partially driven by a fickle Pentagon that, for example, buys a handful of munitions one year and then suddenly wants hundreds.
First, we will stabilize demand signals. We will award companies bigger, longer contracts for proven systems. So those companies will be confident in investing more to grow the industrial base that supplies our weapon systems more and faster.
Where there is inconsistency is in the level of urgency. On the one hand, the Defense Secretary likens the moment to the beginning of World War II, but if that's the case, why hasn't the administration proposed a defense budget that shows investors that the Pentagon is serious?
We mean to increase acquisition risk in order to decrease operational risk. Let me say that again. We mean to increase acquisition risk in order to decrease operational risk.
Acquisition risk left the Pentagon's procurement system in part because US defense spending has dipped to 3% of the economy from a peak of 6% in the 1980s. Risk, of course, means having the budget room for experimentation, which sometimes ends in failure.
By taking greater calculated risk in how we build, buy, and maintain our systems, we will gain speed to more quickly provide capabilities to the battlefield.
Today, there's much defeatism about the American industrial base, but the recent US development of a cheap cruise missile for Ukraine is a reminder that America can still choose to be nimble to meet a threat. And if President Trump could start a revolution in military contracting affairs, it would likely be one of the biggest achievements of his second term.
We will rebuild the defense industrial base into a new arsenal of freedom.